What I'm going to show you in this video is how to get a really lifelike marbling technique going. I show you how to make some beautiful abstract pieces of art full of movement, mood, and irregularities, and all on your iPad using the Procreate app. Hey, I'm Armstrong from Tap Tap Kaboom. All you need is an iPad and Procreate. An Apple Pencil is optional. So I've got this pinky kind of a background, and I've got like a duck egg blue paint color. I'm gonna go to painting and use my normal brush, and then really just put some paint on canvas in no particular way or order. And you should be pretty familiar with doing this by now. The next color I'm gonna go for is kind of a darker blue. Yeah, that looks good. And again, just really applying some paint to the canvas, and just with 3 colors should be pretty good. I'm then going to liquify, and I'm going to start with my push. And the reason I'm going portrait is when I start doing some twirling after the initial liquify, and you'll understand why I've chosen portrait. So take your distortion down, and the size of the brush, yeah, it can be about that. And then just do some normal in and outing with doing something weird. Okay, so it's a bunch of horizontal. Now let's do some vertical. And these colors are really working well together. Okay, so you probably know how to do something like that. It looks really, really good. Now we could do some distorting and it would work really well. But instead of doing that, I want you to use the Twirl right tool, and then again bring down your distortion and your size. Yeah, you can play around with the size, but something like that would be good. And then start from the left and work towards the right. And what we're going to do is we're not going to twirl in one place, but we're going to drag across almost like a smudge. And you can see that we're going to take this little piece of pink all the way from the left all the way to the right. And it creates a kind of like drawing out kind of a stroke from left to right. And then if we zoom in here, you do it just below it. And you can see there's a bunch of blue that we're bringing across from the left all the way to the right. And it's never going to be perfect because, hey, we're humans, and that's part of the process. And that's why I really like this liquify kind of technique. So that's starting to look pretty good. And then let's go above. And you can see this pink guy that we're drawing from the left to the right. There we go. You just do it over and over and over, and you can experiment with the size of the twirl or the size of the brush. Fantastic. Okay, so that's looking pretty good so far. Now you could leave it at this, or you could use your twirl left with again no distortion and make the brush size a little bit smaller, and then go from the right to the left. And then go in between the previous brush strokes. There we go. Okay. And you can see how this is starting to really mimic a traditional kind of marble style of artwork. Looks really, really cool. And if you want to make it go down a little bit, just slow down. And if you want to make it go up, go a little bit faster. So if we go down, you can see I'm holding down and going a bit slower. if I go fast, you can see how you can make it go up. Okay, so that's why I'm using portrait, so I can go from left to right pretty easily, and I don't have these long stretches, but hey, if you want to try landscape, fantastic. Now, we could leave it at this, or we could do some distortion, but what I want you to try is this expand tool. For this, man, it works like a charm. So don't go for something too big. So perhaps 9%, try that. And you just find a certain place and press down. And what this does is it mimics like water droplets or some kind of irregularity within this process. And really just like pushes out a whole bunch of the colors around an area. And you can do this for wherever you feel like it. I find it really, really cool. And again, it mimics the traditional marbling process. Okay, so we've got a couple of these little dotty things. You can adjust your size if you really want to create something bigger. Something like that, or if you want to go really, really small. And again, you can spend hours just adding these finer details to your piece. Okay, so once you've got a couple of these little dots that mimic kind of water splats or, I don't know, some kind of irregularity within your piece, then I'd go towards push, bring up the distortion, bring up the size, and then just do some general pushing and pulling, just to make it a little bit more irregular, bring out some of this distortion, make these things not so perfect. And there we go. There is your piece. And it looks a lot more familiar, a lot more like a real life marbling piece. So have fun with this new technique and yeah, enjoy.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.